Oh yeah, do a little dance. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna have fun tonight, guys. I'm so excited that you're on our last call of this group session, and it has been absolutely phenomenal. Just the women that have shared their stories, their hearts, their souls, and what they've learned along the way has just been so incredible and very, very useful. And useful may not sound like a really exciting word, but it is when you're building a business with it. So I'm grateful for all the useful information these ladies have shared with us that have really helped so many people. So tonight is going to be a little bit different. It's more panel discussion. We want you guys to ask as many questions as you can, and we're just gonna be bouncing off of each other and talking and sharing. And so you are required to participate tonight. Everybody okay with that? All right, Andrea, you need an e-shot. Do some push-ups. Get that blood going. All right, so Deanna, Cory, Angela, if you guys could unmute your phone. Was Carolyn able to jump on? Let me see. I don't see her yet. Okay. All right. Are you guys on?
We're on.
Yes.
Fabulous. Okay, so now is I'm going to ask a few questions to get us rolling, but right now your job is to look at the chat box and ask the questions that you really just want somebody to cover tonight. All right, something that you need help with in growing your business. All right, so first step. I've been hearing this a lot. All right, I don't feel like I can share because I'm not really a product of the product yet. Like I haven't lost a lot of weight yet, or people can't see a difference in me. So what would you say to people that are just beginning their journey, or maybe it's been a while and they've struggled with really, feeling like they look like a product of the product?
Who wants to take that one?
You just jump in.
Okay. I see the little thing bobbling all over. Which blonde? Hey, Angela, you're not showing a blonde. I don't know. Should I?
Deanna, go for it.
Okay. I'm hearing myself in like a million echoes. Somebody's not wearing headphones. I would say these people that when you're starting out, if you don't have a story yet, but you're beginning this journey, is to just reach out to some friends and say that, hey, let's do this together because I need some kind of accountability. And that would be really a great way to, that's what I did. I shared this with Carolyn and then another friend. And I said, I'm trying this and you can return it. I was just down. But I said, you can even, if you wanted to return it, but I believe I'm going to take this all the way. And I want to really look at this as a business too. Please check it out. Please do this with me. Please, please, please. It'll be fun. So I think having the accountability partners were really important. Now, I didn't post it on my wall the very first day, although I know some people do, even while the box is coming. But, I didn't know at that time. But I just looked for accountability partners and it worked.
Okay, for me, so if you're struggling with your own story as you're going, I just think you should share that because you're starting a process and it is a process that you're going through. What we have is not a quick fix. And I think that's really important for people to understand. So when I first started, I didn't hit the milestones that I couldn't even imagine my body hitting. I was hitting small little ones. So as I was posting about them, I might not have had this massive story, but the people that knew me, right? Because the first time you're posting and the first time you're getting people involved is your warm market. So they know who you are. They know how you speak. They know what you look like, what you feel like. So I always tell people to post what they're feeling as they're going through it. So even if you're having kind of a crappy day, you want to say that you're having a crappy day at the beginning, but in some way tie in. But with my nutritional cleansing program, I can notice a difference in what my normal crappy days would be. The ending of the day is different. Like you want to always do a positive spin. But I believe that being authentic is what sells these products. Being yourself is what sells the products. If you need a story, if you have a prospect that comes to you and says, I need to lose 100 pounds. That didn't happen to me, but I know someone on my team that did. So I can ask them to share that story and connect with them and relate with that. But just for yourself, know that sometimes when you post about your journey, you might hit a chord with somebody that they didn't even think was something that was an issue for them. So for me, I posted about less coffee, right? Not drinking as much coffee. And we look at this as weight loss, but there's so much more solutions that we have with this. So when I was mentioning how I used to drink 5 to 6 cups a day and I've gone coffee free and I feel fantastic, that hit a chord with people I didn't even realize would be like, hey, wait a minute, this might be something for me because it's not just weight loss. So just be, for me, to wrap this up, be authentic with the process of what you're going through, because you're going to at least hit day 5, day 7, day 14, whatever it is, you're going to reach somebody with something. And as long as you're consistent in doing what you're doing, and I'm not saying to post every single day what you're doing with Isogenics ever, but you're going to post that through your feeling, through how you're feeling. And I think just staying authentic, even 3.5 years into this business, I'm still posting how amazing I feel in certain things that I'm doing, and now different milestones I'm hitting that I never even thought I would hit when I first started. So now I'm getting people coming in from different milestones that I'm doing now that I wouldn't even imagine when I first started would even be a milestone. So just stay authentic and don't worry about having this big, elaborate, transformational story. It's about changing lives. It's about, honestly, feeling better about yourself. It's confidence. People want that. People want their self-esteem back. It doesn't matter the weight, because that starts to come off.
Right.
And that's more powerful than anything else. And again, like Deanna said, if you have someone within your team, and I know Angela does this too, relate. If you know somebody that has that story, connect them with that person. Mm-hmm. But for you to start branding yourself personally, don't be afraid to share your milestones, because you don't know who's watching and you don't know what milestone you just hit that someone else goes, crap, that's what I want. I need that. That's what I want.
Right. So and that takes really thinking out of the box. So instead of just being caught in this weight loss only, really thinking about how is your life improving every single day. The small things, like you really got to think about it. Start paying attention.
Something as silly as me with my nails. I mean, I've never had to cut my nails so many times in my life. I would struggle to grow them. You know what I mean? I would make a comment like I'd never get a manicure because what's the point? I mean, I hate sitting there personally, but what would be the point? Because I just have these little stubby nails, and now all of a sudden my hair and my nails grow like, I mean, that's a post. You know what I mean? That's huge. Part of the nutrition.
Yep. And I have found that people, there is no ideal life. We talk about the ideal life, right? There is no such thing. Ideal means ideal. You can't reach it, right? So we have these big goals, this journey, this destination we're going towards, but we're not there yet. And it's just the journey that we have to enjoy. So people want to be invited on your journey. They don't want to be invited to the destination. They want to be a part of the journey, right? So I love that. Thank you. Awesome. Angela, do you want to add anything? We have a couple more questions popping up, so. Okay.
Mute yourself.
Is she talking?
Yeah, there she is.
What was the question? I'm sorry, Trish. What was the original question?
The original question was just, how do you share the products if you don't feel like you're a product of the product? Like you haven't lost a lot of weight yet. People can't see from the outside.
It's not about weight loss. And what I tell them is if the person who shared it with me didn't have the courage to share it with me, my life would look a lot different, physically, emotionally, and financially. And what I tell them is you don't know whose life you're going to impact. And I just have to say I'm blown away by the amount of teammates that I have on this call that stood up and made it their business to come and learn. I see Sophia and Roseanne and Victoria, and they're all so different. My friend Jenny, she was a skinny Jenny, and skinny mom of 3. She was a lawyer. And if I made the assumption that she didn't need this, or this wasn't for her, her life would be very different. You don't know what's going on. And you do have a responsibility to tell everyone. We have a solution for everyone: young, old, fat, skinny, sick, healthy. It's you just talk to people. Keep it simple.
Yep. Agreed. And I just go back to, I think people are more excited about being invited on the journey and being a part of this community than anything else. I mean, this is awesome. All right. So the next question was, how do you get the fire going again if you haven't had enrollments for a while and you're feeling kind of dead in the water? How do you get that momentum going again?
It's kind of hard to read the messages and listen to you at the same time.
That's all right. I'm asking the question. So
how do you get the momentum going?
Yeah, when you haven't had an enrollment for a while and you're feeling kind of dead in the water, like, how do you get that momentum moving again? How do you get excited?
I speak to 3 people a day. Some people have to, get on the subway and commute to work for an hour each way. Some people have to sit in traffic on the LIE for an hour and a half. My job is to speak to 3 people a day. And that was never, whether they enroll or not, was never a factor. It's our job to educate people and let them decide. And you know what? It shouldn't be the case that, when you enroll someone, you're like, yeah, I'm fired up. And then when you don't enroll someone, you start giving yourself all this head crap, that I'm not good at this, I'm terrible at this is not going to work out. And then you get an enrollment and everything changes. It's not based on the enrollment. It's based on your consistency, your commitment, your devotion, and your passion to this company. And, in the beginning, of course, we enrolled 10 people a month in the beginning. It's not like that after year 3. So you really have to manage your emotions, and you really have to make a commitment to yourself. And if somebody is losing it, I drag them to an event. I plug them into a team call, and I talk to them. I love on them. We have a great, great community. Sometimes some people fall off the program, and maybe they just need to do a quick 9-day, and fall in love all over again.
Yeah, love that. Events are so important to get recharged. I mean, that's one of the biggest reasons why we go, right, is to recharge. So we just started recently, and first of all, guys, Angela is absolutely amazing at this. She is so consistent, and she does meet 3 people every single day, and I so admire her consistency. It's one thing that I'm working on. But we started a 30-day challenge following Eric Worre, the 20 enrollments in 30 days. And that has been such a fire start on our team. And we're having all these enrollments because the first 10 days is just about making as many connections as possible, and not talking isogenics, but just making friendships, like reaching out to people, connecting, catching up with old friends. And it has been so much fun. And that's my biggest thing, is you have to stay in your high energy. If being friends and having fun is your high energy, stay there, right? If making cold calls is low energy, then don't go there. Like, why? You have all the contacts in the world, right? So, Cory and Deanna, what would you say to somebody who just needs to get fired up again?
You want to go?
Cory, you go first.
Okay. Well, actually, leaders go first. And what happened to me, and I'll just be honest because I'm always raw and real, right? So I had a bunch of enrollments in the beginning, and I rank advanced a lot of people, and we had our team grow really fast, and I went into management mode. And when I did that, I became more management than I did become business owner within my own center, right? So I stopped doing my simple basics. So I had to go back to basics to realize that my team is only going to follow doing what I'm doing, right? So if I'm in management mode, they're going to fall in management mode. So it took a while, and everything that we do in Isogenics, guys, you have to understand that whatever you start, whatever new platform you start, whatever new idea that you have that you want to push into action, it takes about 3 to 4 months for it to really come full circle before you start seeing the benefits. So don't get discouraged if for the first 2 weeks you're doing this great idea that you know is going to work really well for your team and they're not catching on right away. It's cyclical, just like our business, right? So it takes about 3 to 4 months. So I realized I had to go back to basics and start enrolling. And what I did was showing my team, and I welcomed people in, and they said, okay, wait, Cory's starting to enroll people again. I got to start doing that. So you have to be consistent as a leader, because there's 2 modes that you're in. You're in management and you're in, your own business mode. But at the same time, you got to do that synergistically. And it's a little bit hard sometimes at first, because coming from your work mindset of the 9 to 5 and then running a business, totally different mindsets. So for that, my best advice is just take yourself back to basics. Pretend you're starting from scratch. As Angela said, 2 to 3 people a day. Make those connections. Don't have an agenda of isogenics. People know around here who I am. So if I come around the corner, if I run into someone in the mall that I haven't seen in a while, I know their first thought is, oh shit, she's going to ask me about isogenics. Like she's going to say something. I actually do the opposite purposely, because I know they're going to expect me to do that. But I don't do that. I actually genuinely say, hello, how you been? What's going on? Oh, that's awesome. Great to catch up with you. Maybe I'll talk to you later. Usually I'll get a Facebook message 2 or 3 days later. It was so good to run into you. I still stick with the conversation because I'm not going in with an agenda, because that's how I did when I first started. So out of management mode, back to basics. And remember, this takes time to come around. So I started enrolling again, which then my team looked and said, well, wait a minute, Cory's enrolling, I'm enrolling, right? Because I don't ever want to be management mode and not do what I expect my team to do. That's ridiculous, right? So I'm going to walk the walk and talk the talk, just like I would like them to do. And I have to show them that it can be done. And that's how I fire people back up again, because I got to go first. If I want them to do it and I feel like they're kind of, that means I'm not doing something. So I got to go first. Yeah, go on.
So good. So, first, I want to mention that both Angela and Cory, by the way, top enrollers in the company, top over, 500,000 people. So that advice is excellent. And I want to basically agree with especially what Cory was saying regarding going into management mode. That happened to me as well. I think it's important when you're getting a little bit stagnant to really self-evaluate. And for me, it was always really, really great on social media. I was great at social media before I came into isogenics. I'm passionate about social media. But then the problem is that if you're doing the same thing over and over and things aren't happening, it's that definition of insanity. If you're expecting a different result, but you keep doing it. I mean, you have to shift gears. I had a desire at some point to then become a better, more well-rounded network marketer. And actually, even though I'm great at carrying on conversations with people face to face, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think I was intentionally doing what I call the ground game and really talking to people daily. And so I had to evaluate what I was doing, what my activities were. And I decided that I wanted to be really well-rounded. So I'm making it, it's an intentional move at my part to be able to discuss this with people and talk about it. And then regarding the management thing, yeah, I love leading people. I'm heavy into management, or I was. And I had to break it down recently and getting back to basics, as Cory said. But I say, do the thing. Just do the thing. There's a reason why they say you plus 2, them plus 2, because quite frankly, if you just do that and your people do that, the compensation plan will work for you. That's why they have it. So the thing is do the thing. So I had to shift. If I was spending 90% of my energy on managing people, answering their calls, doing the 3-way calls for others, and yet not doing the thing, I decided to say, sorry, when I do the thing and I've got my thing done, I'll take your call. You guys I've set you up really well enough that you can kind of, move on and start leading certain things yourself, but I need to do the thing. Because when I stop doing the thing, then it's a problem. Just like Cory basically said the same thing. So just evaluate what you're doing. Do you want to be a well-rounded network marketer? I wanted to be able to connect with people on every single level, because I genuinely love people, but I wasn't really doing it face to face as much as I wanted to. And Patty, who I work with a lot, Patty Spada, says if you don't talk about the business, you won't have one. You know, or at least talk about the health of the products, you know, talk about it.
Awesome. Awesome, ladies. So what is, let's see, this question here. How do you help your new associates have the confidence to share? All right, to start sharing the product. So what are some steps that you give them in maybe their first post on Facebook or the first conversations they're going to start having with their friends and family?
I'll go.
Yeah.
My team has a very specific, very duplicatable system. So when we first get the program in our hands, it's our responsibility to let them know, hey, by the way, you know, you're going to start looking great. You're going to start feeling great. Once that happens, you know, we have a great refer a friend program. Then we do a day 5 phone call together with your upline. You never do the day 5 phone call alone. And my team is big on doing those day 5 phone calls. And that's the excitement call. And I love the excitement call because you're the ones that have, you've done the shape days with them. You've talked them through the ionics. You're like the annoying coach, you know? And then you bring in this third person, and this third person is like, you lost what? How much? Oh my God, girl, that's amazing. Well, you got to hear about this. This is this you plus 2, them plus 2. So I think using these simple touches, these small exposures, kind of drips it on them without scaring people too much. And then day 8, I check in on them. And when they've had incredible results, I shout them out on Facebook. I tag them and I shout them out in the morning. And then I'll message them in the evening and say, hey, I wrote a little something up for you. Does this sound like you? Do you feel comfortable putting this up? And we kind of go through it together, but I may even instill the idea early on and say, hey, look, if you have amazing results by week 1, are you willing to throw something up there and help some other people? You know, so it's always those little drips. But I think sharing is fun. I mean, we always keep it simple. We always keep it fun. Who do you know? What 2 friends can I speak to help you get your monies, you know, get your products paid for? And that's it. Just fun, simple. But you know what? We have many customers, longtime customers, who don't want to share. And that's okay too. You know, sharing is wonderful. Some people prefer to give me the referrals, and other people just prefer to be lifelong users. And the beauty of this is that there's a place for everyone here. So I don't push, I simply share the information as to what's available for them. Because if they miss that crystal manager, I mean, and when I wasn't making any money, that $450 was quite significant. If they're going to miss that crystal manager, it's not going to be because of something I did or didn't inform them of. So in the beginning, when I started and I was very apprehensive and shy about talking about the money, I used Susan Sly's line and I say, I'm obligated to tell you that we have a way to get your products paid for. And I do that very early so they can make the decision if they're going to go for CM or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's important that first conversation when they get their box for the first time, that conversation can, in my opinion, it can really make or break your relationship. So when I sit down with them or if I'm on the phone with them, usually I do it by Zoom if they're out of state, you know, because I want that belly to belly feel. We talk about, okay, let's go over your goals again. All right, you got your box. So what are your goals? And we really dig deep into their dreams, their goals, what they want to accomplish with this system and why. So if they say weight loss, well, why? Well, because I feel like a frumpy mom and I don't have energy for my kids and I don't like, so we go into it. I really, really dig deep to break down those walls and show them how humans, how we connect and how we can help each other and love each other.
We have a millionaire mindset panel that I started yesterday, and it went really well. And Laura Hernandez said, you know, that Zach Slobin did an excellent call, and I can share that with you so you can share it with your team. But it's asking the question why 7 times. And when you ask that question why 7 times, it really gets to the core, deep of the problem. Because some people will just say, I want to lose weight. And you're like, well, why? Well, I want to have more energy for my kids. Well, why? Because lately I feel like I haven't been a good mom to them. Well, why? Because I haven't taken care of myself. You know, and I think that when you get deep down, you can really do more than just scratch the surface. It's an excellent call that Zach Slobin did, and I think it would be great to share with us.
You know where he got the idea?
Yes. Yes.
From children. Why?
If you Google it, it's been done before. It's been researched a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hear why a lot in my household.
I hear why all the time.
Yeah, so in my opinion, it's just building that relationship so early on so that you can have more heartfelt conversations later about finances, about goals, about, you know what I mean? Like, it breaks down the walls when you show them how much you care from day one.
Trisha, can I, Angela did that question answered so well. I don't think anyone wants me or Deanna to answer that because she kind of just packed that in with amazing information. Can I answer one question that I think is important that I just read? What is the number one thing you see people do that holds them back? I want to be really, well, that's me. I'm always going to be right out there, right? So the number one thing I think that holds people back, there's actually 2. The first thing is I think people are afraid to make the kind of money that you can make in isogenics. So you actually sabotage yourself from the idea that you can get an income such as what isogenics gives you. And let me just give you an example. I know some people are looking at me like with what? You start to hit a certain rank and you start to move up and you get these bonuses and you get these leadership pools and they start pouring you in with so much money that they want you to have, right? That's good because money's good. But when you're somebody that's working the 9 to 5 and you said taxes coming out and then you get confused and you get nervous and you're like, wait, I have all this money. I don't know what to do with it. You actually sabotage and build a wall within yourself to not move beyond a certain point in your business. I don't know if anyone's going to actually admit this, but some people are laughing because they're not going to like say that they are. But everybody wants that big check. But a lot of times when it comes down to it and they're watching that happen and they're watching their growth, it scares the you-know-what out of them because they don't know what to do with that money. Mm-hmm. And when you work paycheck to paycheck like I always had, my personal experience, as the money started to come in, I was like, whoa, what do I don't even know where this goes. Like, do I keep half? What do I do? I have no idea, right? So people are afraid to actually hit certain milestones when it comes to money.
Right.
Because 1, they don't feel like they deserve it. And 2, they don't know how to manage it. So the first thing I'm going to tell you guys is, yes, you deserve it. We all do. It's there. There's a reason. We're 14 years old. We're not some kind of scam. You're not going to secretly get shut down. But I would stress on educating yourself about write-offs and different things and not be afraid to have that abundance come to you. Allow that in. Because once you put that wall up, you're not going to go past a certain point. And I think a lot of people that I've spoken to when I do talks and things like that, that's the number one thing that they talk about is, well, they're saying without saying it. I'm reading between the lines where they'll say, well, I only hit here, but I can't seem to get past here. And what it really breaks down to is they're afraid of the money. Guys, don't be afraid of the money. Your accountant will figure it out. It'll all be good, okay? I promise you, it's going to be fine. Get that out of your head. It's good. It's good money, real, usable, tangible. It's real.
Right.
And the second thing is that big part of people feeling they're not that good enough or deserve it. Some people look at their paycheck in a week and go, oh my God, on a Monday, and go, I don't know how did I even get this? Like, what did I do? I don't understand what happened. Some of you might not be there. I'm just, again, talking from personal experience where I'll go, this must be an error, because I don't know what did I do for this to happen. But again, when you're building a foundation in your team and you're building, as you're building U + 2, then +2, and it's going, this is what's so great about residual income. You don't have to know how it came there. Just know that you deserve it because you worked hard enough to get it. Mm-hmm. So I think that's really important. And I just want to touch on that, Trisha, because I think a lot of people won't talk about that. And they actually sabotage themselves because they put a wall up like, oh God, I don't want to go past 2-star because I don't know what to do after that certain amount of money, or after $600, what do I do? Oh my God, now I got to report this. Like, what happens? Don't worry about it. Just get an accountant. They'll fix it. You're cool. Everything's fine. Just let the abundance come to you. Right, Deanna? I mean,
hire a professional.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. And I love, as far as what I've noticed also is that, I'll tell you, my personal experience was you have the self-doubt. It's easy to say, okay, it's belief that's holding people back. But what is that really? Not believing has to do with an inner dialogue. So if you're self-aware as to what your brain is telling you and falsely, you can shift that. So I do remember thinking, okay, oh gosh, this success comes from other people. And then I shifted that. I was like, well, wait a second. Why can't that be me? Other people are me, so it's this belief thing, but the belief has to come from sometimes intentional shifts, mindset shifts, in order to be able to be successful. So for me, every time I would have a negative thought, I would shift it into something that would really, move me forward. Mm-hmm. So I did that, but at the same time, you can have the belief, but you also have to combine the belief with action. So you have to say, okay, well, I'm believing. Now what do I do? So then you have to take those steps. And again, I mentioned this before. It's so simple. Connect with people, teach other people to do the same. Connect with people. We really break it down. That's all we do. We talk to people, we connect with them, we introduce them to some amazing stuff, and then we talk to more people and then tell the other people, are you having a great result? Do the same thing. It's very, very simple. So belief, which comes from the self-awareness, and then action, and that will equal results. But so many people, like Cory said, will self-sabotage. Mm-hmm. I was in that, when I think about how close I was to just letting that negativity continue to be this belief, because I was coming from this place of like being really, downtrodden and feeling awful. Mm-hmm. So I put the products in my body. I started to feel better, and my mind also was starting to, shift as well. So the biggest thing for me is people start using the products. They excuse themselves away from possibly the best opportunity in their lives before they even, I had one person return a box. She couldn't even open the box. Like, you're returning it? Did you try it? Oh, I just know these things will fail. They've always failed. I'm like, no. And trust me, I'm experienced in encouraging people. That's how I've always been. I've been very positive and encouraging. It didn't work for her because she was so stuck in her belief of failure.
Right. Yeah.
And the truth is that we've seen the people who succeed in this. They're a range of, teachers, policemen, mechanics. We all, there's not one demographic or one previous occupation that hasn't really been taught. Yeah. So, it's possible, and we know it's possible, but it has to do with belief and having that control of what you're thinking,
I think that book, The Secret to the Millionaire Mindset, has been so it was so good for me, enlightening for me, because as reading that book, I recognized that I had that rich mindset. I've always just been excited about lots of opportunities. The world is just full of opportunities. But I was able to see my husband, who is the complete opposite, and who was raised, as a rancher and just working the land, and you had enough money just to get by, and you don't mess around. There's not enough time in the day, right? Kind of thing. And so I'm grateful for that, because I've been able to see that mindset and recognize that in so many people, that they're scared to take a step because they don't see the world full of opportunities. They see few opportunities, and they don't even want to take a chance, because what happens if they fail? That's one less opportunity in the world for them. Right?
Yeah. And the other thing is that you can start getting really successful and start making money. And you could have shifted your mindset, which I did. And every now and then you have to clean it out again.
Mm-hmm.
When I was moving, I remember looking at things, wanting to keep little things that didn't make any sense rather than throw them out. I had to tell myself, it'll be less stressful if I throw this thing away than I'm trying to find a spot for these 25-cent napkins when I get to It was a shift in my brain. I had to just say, wait a second, I don't have to hold on to all of this stuff. I can buy new napkins. You know?
I love that. Yeah, David, I was on a call with David Wood, and I loved this example he gave. They had a newspaper article, right? And it was in the ads for jobs, and they posted 2 of the exact same job positions, right? And it was for some kind of a clerk work, computer skills, yada, yada, yada. But on one of them, they posted like $30,000 a year. And on one, they posted like $170,000 a year. And it was the exact same post, same company, same everything. And it was like 98% of the calls went to the $30,000 a year instead of the $150,000, because people didn't believe they were worthy of making that much money. So they went for the low paying job. And it's just a really, really good example. So everybody really evaluate, what is the number over your head? If there's a bubble over your head at the money over it, what is that ceiling? Because you're only going to earn what you think you can handle, like Cory said. Right? Awesome. So Angela, what's another fear you think, or what's something you've seen a lot that has held people back?
I think people care a lot about what other people are going to think about them. I think they're worried that, your friends think you're a part of a pyramid. Your husband thinks you're selling Tupperware. Your parents think it's this little thing, and they're hoping that you kind of get over it. And, I tell you, I feel like I've had so much stuff happen to me throughout this journey, both good and bad, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't change any of it. It's crazy. I did a day 5 phone call. It was a great call. I went to check in on her on day 8, and she blocked me. I'm like, but here's the thing. And I wrote something about it today in my group, and I'll pull it up. I'm not here to, I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to help people. And if you know me, and if you know my heart, and if you know my passion and dedication, I've always been the person to help people, whether it was during the time of Hurricane Sandy, whether it was working as a caseworker for child abuse, or whether it's helping people with weight loss. I don't read from a script. Every person that I talk to is different. Every conversation is from the heart. Sometimes I cry. I'm sure they don't teach that in network marketing school, but it really has to come from the heart. You have to have a genuine desire to help people. And I think that when your desire to help people is very real and is very honest, you give a little bit less of a care than what other people think. And, certainly I've spoken to over 2,000 people. Not all 2,000 came along, but I stopped focusing on the 1,500 that said no. And I'm so focused on the 500-600 who said yes. And that's all I keep thinking about. I keep thinking about the Victoria Brunettis, who was a caseworker with me. We worked in some very dangerous areas. I think of my childhood friend, Jenny. I think of, my friend Irina, who's on the call tonight, and she's a stay-at-home mom of 3 whose husband's not working right now. If she goes after it, and if this can help her, make a 6-figure income, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. And not everyone is going to take it up, and not everyone is going to, be into it. And that's okay. My job isn't to look for the ones who aren't into it. So I kind of wrote something. I want to see if I can find it in my group. I'm sure now that I need it, I won't be able to find it. I'll look for it, but here it is. I said, tip of the day, you got to have a thick skin and not take things personally in this profession. Somebody may have heard something about you that was untrue, and then they told somebody else, and now, people are saying this. Well, you have to have the posture that, I don't entertain, he said, she said. Maybe somebody had a bad experience on the program and said that you were a terrible coach. You know what? The old me would have been devastated. Oh my God, she's constipated. She's going to return it. The new me is like, you know what? Maybe it just wasn't her time. I did a great day 5 phone call. The client blocked me. You know what? I have the posture where I'm here to help those that really want it. And what I told my team is, guys, all sorts of crazy things happen, but it's our job to really, just be cool. Don't get hurt. Don't get offended. Let the nonsense slide and just and keep it moving. And I just think that, I don't know if you can see it, but it's not about you. It's not about you. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know if their husband just offended them. You don't know what's going on. Don't take it personally. Just keep educating people about the beauty of this program, about the benefits of the program. And if they say no, just keep going, keep going, keep going. Because like Jimmy Smith said, most of the time, no simply means they just don't know. And that's it. I've learned not to give a hoot. I don't entertain drama. I don't care. I don't care. My job is to create more 6-figure income earners than ever. My job is to build a happy, safe place for my girls where they can grow up and be anything they want in life. And that's what I'm going to do, So I say, care a little less about other people's opinions and instead strengthen your opinion of yourself. Believe in yourself and know that what you're doing is it's a miracle. It's incredible. You can't imagine how many thank yous and gratitudes and appreciation that we get, So focus on the good stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely love that, Angela. Thank you so much, hon. It has been the most freeing moment in my life when I came to that point where I just didn't care anymore. And that doesn't mean that we don't care about others' opinions and feelings. It just simply means that we know who we are. We know what we're all about. We know our heart. We know we're trying our very, very best and that we're completely imperfect. I know how flawed I am. I know I'm flawed, but I also know I'm trying my best. And getting to that point where you just don't care what others' opinions of you are is just absolutely amazing. I can't even begin. It's amazing. So get there, guys. And I think one of the ways that you get there is being anxiously engaged in a good cause. Really, really being passionate about something and moving forward, really moving towards something. It helps you forget about yourself. I was just talking to a girl today on the phone, and that's what she's finding, right? The more she does good for others, the more she gets excited about her purpose and her passion and what she's doing, the less she cares about herself and the less she's obsessed with all of her insecurities and her weaknesses. She's just moving. And that's where we're going, right? So did you want to add anything to that, Deanna or Cory, as far as things that might hold people back?
Just basically what I was saying before regarding belief and people self-sabotaging themselves truly. And yes, and for us, it's important for us to maintain the belief. I think, this is not exactly the question, but it's really important for us to stay positive as much as we can, or at least surround ourselves with positive people, because there have been times when I've seen my team go off on the tangent. I'll say recently it was one person was commenting on how somebody else lost a new potential prospect to another company. And then the other one started saying, yeah, that company seems to be here. Oh yeah, well, I lost mine to it's like, let's be really aware of how often we go into this. Yes, it's it's discouraging, but rebound fast. Give yourself a new story, because when you start to create that story for an entire group, how do you think that's going to play out when they go out to talk to the next person and next person says no? So I think it's, that old book, The Power of Positive Thinking, and there's several more that are out there now. But really just trying to keep things as positive as possible, really, and then project them into into reality and into manifesting themselves. Right. So I think I learned that years ago, like when I was leading my band. It's like you can have a lot of really great, talented players, but if one guy comes onto the bandstand and starts complaining about everything, the vibe, the feeling of the band, the feeling of the music that you're playing is so different, and you're not getting people dancing as much. It's true. I would, there were times that I wouldn't hire one of the best trumpet players in town in New York City because I didn't like his attitude. There was somebody that played less, not as well, but brought a great spirit to this bandstand. And it's really important for us to, try to keep that energy, because it's contagious. It's infectious, and the negative stuff is infectious too.
Deanna, if I could just comment on that, I have to tell you that we just finished our 90-day blitz, and you are so right, because the teams that worked well together, right? Vicki can comment. I mean, it didn't matter that some were just only consultants or some were only managers. They forgot about that. And it was really the teams that were most positive, saying, come on, you can do this. For every enrollment, they cheered each other on. Those were the top 3 teams that smoked everybody else out in blitz. And the teams that were at the lowest, it had nothing to do with their recognition rank or what kind of enrollers they are. They had a lot of negativity, a lot of Debbie Downers in that group. So that's a great, great point. Right, Vic? He's like, yes.
Yeah.
So true, Dee.
Experienced that same thing in our isoderm. We had 9 teams going, and I was in every thread, and it was crazy. You'd get in one group, and it'd be like, woo! And then the next group was like, my mom is sick. And I'm like, I feel so stressed right now.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, Cory.
I just wanted to say that, first off, don't ever be afraid to stand alone. And I know I can speak for myself and some people on this call, where we were left behind with a choice to move forward for ourselves and do you is what I always hashtag, right? And create a tribe of people that you want to be surrounded by, that are not technically financially linked from you, but you learn from. And that's kind of where Deanna and Tracy and I use the hashtag Heartline. And for me, my upline is myself, and I'm totally proud of that. I think we are all our own upline, and what we do for our downline creates their own upline. And the upline, downline, sideline, all that stuff, I just like to sum it up as a heartline. And when I say don't be afraid to stand alone, I mean that in the sense that if you feel in your gut or your instinct that something is just not meshing, like Angela was talking about the Debbie Downers, and Deanna was saying how you get that negative. Once that negative ball starts rolling, don't be afraid to be like, you know what, I'm not chilling with you anymore. You could see ya, you can bounce, because this is your business. And the beauty of this business is that you get to choose who you want to work with. I don't think people really grasp that. I think they think that they are tied to their upline for life and have to follow exactly the way or the posture or the, how an upline person acts. And if you are not that way, find somebody that's like you. I mean, Angela and I happen to be in the same downline, but I mesh more with Angela. Deanna and I aren't, and I mesh with Deanna perfectly. Tracy's not, and that's one of my like this. So, you know, you find people, and even Trisha now, because I got to know her, right? So you find these people. Don't be afraid to use that block delete button, man. Like there's a reason it's there, and I just want people to understand that standing alone, you might stand there alone for a little bit, but eventually the people that you're standing alone for yourself, you're going to attract the people that you want there. You don't want these people that are going to complain every 5 freaking seconds. I don't have time for that. You see, in my brain, I'm growing an empire. That's where my vision is. You want to come running with me? I'm running with you. If you want to take a walk and take a slow walk, I'll walk, as long as you're positive. But if you're going backwards and talking crap, you're out. I'm done. I don't have time for that energy. I know that sounds like really harsh, but guys, when you're looking at this in a business standpoint and what Isagenix can free you from financially, for your family, for so many other people, there is no time for the frustration. And listen, I'm not going to say that I'm, positive Patty all day.
Polly.
But right, positive Polly or whatever. I was trying to think of another P name. But there are moments where I'll bang my head against the wall, frustrated, but I'm not going to let my team always see that, right? Because we do have these moments, and I know people say, read this book, read that book, read this book. You know what the book I read? The book of my freaking life. That's the book I read. The lessons that I learned from coming from down deep, hitting rock bottom, following a certain way that I thought was right, getting crushed down, and rebuilding myself back up. And those books are great, but you're not going to actually learn from a book. You're going to learn from doing and taking action on your own terms. That's your best lesson. You're already having your lessons from your life story that I don't even know about, that you probably know something better than I do because you experienced something in a different situation outside of Isagenix that you know how to handle way better than me. So I know I just dropped it right there, but I mean, that's really, I'm not knocking people for reading the books, read the books, but I don't want people to always think that we say, yes, read this lovely book. It's going to free your mind. It's not all about that. It's about taking that and what are you going to do with it? You're going to read it and just like, yeah, I read that book one time. That was awesome. Okay, well, what did you do? Well, you can quote it, but are you actually doing anything with it? My book is the book of my life, and it goes like this, man, and I'm cool with it. And I can refer back to chapter 2 when I was younger or whatever, and know an experience I had and relate it to here. And I'm going to stand tall no matter what and rise above all of that, if I'm allowed to say that, here, because that's what makes you you. You're the only one that has that power to do that. So you are your upline. You are your responsibility. And you are what you want to make of this business. And we have people and leaders that will help you do whatever you need and give you that advice. I will never take credit for a team member that passes me or gets on stage or does anything, because all I could do was be a tour guide and a cheerleader. That's all I was for them. Amen. Because they do the work. They do the work. And that's it. And that's how I feel about this business. And that's the beauty of it, because you work for you, guys. Yes, it's not about you, but you work for you. Mm-hmm. It's not other people, but the reward is it's on your terms. It's on your terms who you choose to work with. Guys, harness that. That's freaking awesome. What other place can we say we do that? Now I'm getting all fired up at freaking 11 o'clock at night here. I got to. All right, I'm going to mute.
I want to elaborate, because Cory and I like to elaborate on each other. We're so
we have a freaking tour. That's the problem here. But go ahead.
I'll elaborate. So what she was talking about regarding, upline, sideline, heart, we're heartline. We by default, Cory, myself, Angela, Tracy, I know, and there's many others. We didn't have really any upline to really be leading us. I mean, or we were alone. So by default, And it could have been just our personalities anyhow, regardless of whether we had somebody like right there for us. We took the leadership role from the beginning. And one piece of advice that I want to give to people who do have strong uplines, continue to take the leadership role in the beginning. Like, get your mind in a place that, you know what, I'm going to lead. If I want to create a Facebook group, I'll create a Facebook group. If I want to do a Zoom call, I'll do a Zoom call. It doesn't matter if you're a consultant, a manager, or whatever. Do that. I think when you do have strong leadership sometimes and things are working so cohesively and beautifully, in some ways it can be harder for people then to step out and lead because they don't really see the need as much. But I'm teaching, my team to do that, because the problem is because, I was in management mode so much, is that I would take on so much stuff. But the thing is that I had to learn then to say, wait a second, yeah, you can do that. It's better sometimes for them to say you can do it, because otherwise you're feeling so much stress that you're not prospecting, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So don't wait to step into your leadership role. When I was in New York City, I wanted to be a singer. Nobody was giving me gigs when I was 18 years old. What did I do? I sang on the street with the guitar. People were throwing water at me out of these Greenwich Village apartments. Eventually, I became like the top band in New York. If you want to be a leader, lead. Don't wait till you reach a certain rank. The ranks don't mean anything, because there are people with higher ranks that maybe aren't really showing the best leadership skills. I'm going to be honest.
I actually sometimes learn more from consultants than I wish.
Yeah.
I know we're going to do takeaways now. I know we're wrapping up, but I honestly wish at Celebration that we didn't walk around with lanyards, to be honest with you, because we're the only company that does that, walks around and supposedly shows what we make, right? But if you understand isogenics, you can hit a rank. But that doesn't mean you're staying at that rank. So if I speak to somebody that says, 12-star platinum, and then I'm talking to a consultant, I actually might get better information from a consultant than I wouldn't. I wish we didn't have those things, because we all have ideas. We all are important, and everything that we can contribute when we have value to give, it doesn't matter what the lanyard says. I want and Deanna made a really good point. Ranks and stars mean crap, man. It doesn't mean anything unless you can give value back to people so that they can find themselves to be that leader. And I promise you this, leaders that give a shit want you to be leaders. They don't want you to not be a leader and just follow them. They want you to lead. They want you to go. So if you're in a position where I have this step I want to take, but I don't really know what they're going to say, if they're going to like what I'm doing, do it. Because then they just want to control you. There's a difference. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? All right. That's the end of my ranting. I don't know. I think Trisha said do takeaways.
No, one of the questions was how do you recognize leaders? And I would just simply say, when I'm listening to something, when I'm on a call, when I'm reading a good book, in my head, I'm constantly thinking things like, gosh, I got to teach this to my team. Oh, I want to teach this to my kids. Oh, I want to teach this to my friend. And that is one sign of a leader. If you guys recognize yourself doing that, that's the universe saying, hey, teach, be a leader, share, grow, right? And so everything you take in, if you have that attitude of I have to pay it forward, that is the first sign of a leader, is you're constantly paying it forward. You're a vessel. You're just reciprocating what you're receiving, And I would just simply say one of my favorite things from PK Smith is I'll share this quickly, but we both love horses, right? And so he talks about donkeys and mules and horses all the time. And what's the difference? Okay, well, maybe a lot of you guys don't know. I'm going to put this on gallery view so I can see your cute faces. So make sure you're smiling here. But, what's the difference between a donkey, a horse, and a mule? Well, you get a horse, you get a donkey, you hook them up, birds and the bees, they have a mule. Okay, so what differentiates a mule from a horse? I know people on my team know this, but for others, what's the difference between a mule and a horse? In all purposes, guys, mules are a better animal. I know horses very well. Mules are more stable, they're more consistent, they're smarter, They're easier to ride. They're more comfortable. Mules are amazing, but nobody wants to ride a mule. They want to ride a horse because they're majestical and powerful and amazing. But scientifically, what is the difference? A mule can't create life. They can't procreate. They're sterile. Mules are sterile. They just kind of do their thing and that's it. Horses can create life. They can create other horses. Okay, so in your teams, I want you to recognize people that are doing things without even being asked to, right? Who is posting? Who is asking questions? Who's making calls? Who's getting on calls? Those are creators. Those are leaders, right? Those are your horses. And you're going to have 80% product users or mules, but you're going to have those leaders that are creating on their own. And so like Cory and Deanna said, don't squash that. Okay, when somebody has ideas and they're excited about something, help them become that leader. All right, so we're gonna just close up here. I want Deanna and Cory to, after they're done taking pictures.
I was Deanna, I wasn't taking a picture. I was just Heartline representing. This is all.
I love it. So first of all, I want you guys to share your takeaways on your pages. Please hashtag OneTeamUniversity or Together Strong Pro so we can find out what you're taking away, what you're learning. And I want to close
riding a horse.
Riding a horse.
Snapchat.
Wow. Get a screenshot of the whole group, Deanna.
I already did.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you. So go ahead and share what you're learning. Mark your calendars on June 15th is when our next 6 week is starting. And that is already scheduled. We have Hayden Vavra as our first week. And then we have Eden and then Zach and then Emily. And we have one more surprise guest jumping in. So plan for that. You are all welcome. You're all invited. Again, we only have room for 200, so it's just get on, right? Get on quick and make sure that your business builders are on that call. So watch for the flyer. I'll be posting it soon. Ladies, I just want to share my appreciation. I know this has been a sacrifice for you and for all you East Coasters that are up late with us. We just so appreciate it. You know, we truly want to link arms. We want to be one team. We want to help each other grow and reach our goals, and more importantly, we want to show the world how to have human connections, how to love each other, how to make a movement happen. And it takes an army to make a movement happen. And I am so committed to helping Jim and Kathy Coover reach their goal. I'm so committed to them because they have changed my life. They have done everything for me. Like, my life is different because of those two people and for John Anderson. So anyway, didn't mean to get emotional, but I feel so much gratitude. So thank you guys for being on this call. Deanna, Angela, and Cory, if you could just close us out.
Trisha, thank you for having these. And also, it's just been awesome. We also just love this company, and we love, just where we're going with this. And I just want to encourage everybody to just understand that this is really just the beginning. We're going to be seeing some amazing things in the next, I don't know, even the next year, the next 2 years. It's just, we've only just really begun. So go out and share with people, do the thing, share it with people, and don't give up believing. Really, if you're discouraged about anything, please just do the thing.
Are you quoting Don't Stop Believing? Is that where we're going with this?
Don't stop believing.
I'm just joking. Go. I had to throw it in. It's a nighttime joke. Go on.
Hey, yeah. I have to say that I would pay a lot of money to see you in concert, Deanna. Just saying.
She's freaking.
Well, I would only do it if Cory Kinnear and I were, partners.
I'll sing with you. I did sing at one point. Yes. I was actually my brother's cover band.
We've got quite a few singers actually on this call tonight, but they're covering up their faces and stuff.
Oh, come on. We should have done a group sing along. Come on.
Dina here, Robin DiLorenzo.
I want to thank everybody for allowing me to, I'm sorry about the little rant, but when I get fired up, I can't help it. It just comes out. So I think that's why people like me and hate me, but I'm good. So I hope that, I got some value for you, but my biggest takeaway always will be follow your heart, trust your instinct, You know what's right. You know what's wrong for you. Like I said, downline, upline, there is no, you are your upline. You do the work. You will see the reward, and allow yourself to receive the rewards. Allow it. Allow it. Some of you are sitting there even like this as I'm saying it, kind of like thinking, oh, I hope I get it. She's talking a lot of stuff there. I really wish that happens to me. It's going to happen. Like this needs to be, you need to be like this, like fired freaking up. Like this is the energy. Like it's 11 o'clock here and I'm like this now. Now I got to go and post in my team group and they're going to be like, what the hell is she on? Because this is what happens when you have a great fucking call. Like, let's go, man. Bring it. Do it. Like this, it's all for you. Isogenics rocks. Like bring it home. That's it. Heartline. There we go.
Boom.
Gotta stop. Boom, right? That's how I end all my podcasts. Go ahead.
All right, Angela. You still there, babe?
I'm here, Trish. I think what you're doing is absolutely incredible. I think you are definitely a good representation of Isogenics. I think it is always about giving back and helping those who want it. And I love it. And I love the leaders that have agreed to participate on this. You're asking people who are top leaders in the company, and everyone has taken 6 weeks out of their life to give back. And I think it just says a lot about the company, the purpose, the call, the leaders. And we're here to help each other. That's it. It's not that serious. You know, you for $350, you're given a website, you're given your own business. You want to go fast, go fast. You don't want to go anywhere, don't go anywhere. I mean, it's not that serious. You want to grow, talk to people. You understand that's the only way that it's going to happen is by sharing the story. Don't overcomplicate things. Get out of your own head. And you know what? Google, it's a wonderful resource. Google everything. Isogenics gives you all the tools to be successful. There should be no excuses between the ISO websites and the Google. Everyone can be a millionaire here if you just want it bad enough.
I love it.
Thank you for putting this together, Trish.
I could listen to these East Coasters all day long.
It's a freaking shake. Let's narrow it down to what it is, right? Let's just do it. It's a shake. Everyone can follow it. It's all good. We got it.
Okay, I think on 3, I'm muting you guys. On 3, we can all just say, do the thing. All right? So 1, 2, 3. Do the thing.
Do the thing.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Debbie.
Deanna, please.
Deanna.